Welcome once again to HANA Café, the Netherlands. And today we are recapping a recent SAP CodeJam focused on getting started with GenAI Hub on the SAP AI Core. The event, hosted by Innov8ion, saw a full house of 35 participants eager to explore the world of generative AI. And kudos to Innov8ion for the nice organization. This CodeJam provided a practical hands-on introduction to using the GenAI Hub to implement a retrieval augmented generation, RAG, use case. Difficult words. We explored how RAG can improve the response of large language models and reduce hallucinations. Participants learned how to deploy LLMs and orchestration services from SAP AI Core and how to query them via the SAP AI Launchpad and Python SDK. The session also covered GenAI concepts like text chunking and embeddings, essential for building effective RAG solutions. Our facilitator for the day was SAP developer advocate Nora van Thenen. In this episode, we'll recap the key takeaways from the CodeJam with her and hear from some of the participants about their experience. We'll discuss what they have learned, any challenges they encountered, and their thoughts on applying these new skills to their customers. So join us as we delve into the world of GenAI and SAP. Welcome to HANA Café, the Netherlands.
HANA Café Nederland is your one-stop shop for all things SAP. Grab yourself a coffee or tea and join regulars Jan Penninkhof
Goedemiddag.
and Twan van the Broek
Yes.
with their guests as they chat about latest developments, innovations, events, or simply catch up. Let's head inside.
Yeah, the first guest at the table today is Robert and Laurens. Laurens, can I start with you? How did you experience today's CodeJam?
I do have to say we've done it previously with other CodeJams, and it's absolutely lovely to see everybody again, especially on Valentine's Day, which is today.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
I hope everybody bought flowers. I still have to do it. So, but I really enjoy it to join in with like-minded people with the newest technologies. SAP is going to help us with the newest stuff, and we can try everything we like. So it's really great. Yeah.
Robert?
Yes, yes, it was a very nice exercise. I liked it much. I wasn't not that experienced in AI tooling yet, so I was surprised how easy it was.
Okay. So if you're not experienced, you can still join the CodeJam on AI because you get hand by hand. You get
I didn't do anything with Python in the past, so I know ABAP and a little bit Java and JavaScript and Node.js, but Python was new for me. But even that, it was readable, and also the exercises were very good explained. And I think Nora did a great job by having first a presentation to have some additional information. So,
Okay. You made it to the end of the exercises?
yes.
Okay, cool.
I even did the extra exercises.
Yeah, of course.
The agent.
We know you.
The agent, yes.
Yeah, of course. And Laurens, you made it to the end?
I also made it to the end, including the AI agents. It's really nice to see. And also, that's one of the things we always think about. When I start on Monday morning at the customers again, how can I actually use the things we have learned? And that's always something we discuss with colleagues who couldn't participate, or the colleagues who did participate here and who we see in the morning again.
Some of the components were also actually in the Devtoberfest, also part of that. Did you join the Devtoberfest as well?
I did enjoy, I participated in the Oktoberfest. Unfortunately, I didn't win. I did at maximum amount of points, but no, I didn't win. Sorry,
but
guys.
you reached Nerdvana.
Sorry?
You reached the Nerdvana.
Nerdvana, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
And I think, if I may add, is that if you look at the Devtoberfest, the way SAP is doing that, including all the hands-on tutorials, which you can just follow along easily, it's really great to participate in that one. Yeah.
Okay. Robert, how are you going to take this away and to bring it to your customers?
Yes, of course. That was the purpose where I was here. And I was surprised because I did a lot of AI stuff with SAP already in the testing phase for generating your code with ABAP, the new ABAP Dual engine, and also creating Fiori apps with AI. But I wasn't aware about what was the technology behind it, and I think this got a good overview what's happening behind it, and that's why I like it a lot. Of course, we have to look at which use cases there will be, and also, of course, customers also looking not only at SAP but also to other vendors of AI. But I think it gives us a good insight, and I think the nice thing about SAP is that it's a layer on top of all those other AI providers, and I think if you do it that way, that you are have a solution that you not directly look into one vendor, but you can can use all those different AI vendors and solutions which are behind it, and that one I liked very much.
Okay, thank you.
So you can try to find out which of the models that all the vendors provide fits your use case best.
Yeah, so and that was what Nora also explained, that you can try to start with the most expensive one, but you can then also try to get a cheaper one. So instead of having one which is maybe expensive because your use case is always in that space, if you cannot switch to a lower cost model, then you pay a lot. And I think that is the nice thing about SAP, and that SAP did it also in the past with the databases and all other stuff, that you have an environment that you can learn with it, but you can also have to choose to go back to a better priced solution. And I think that's also what they have, of course, with the B2P, not another B2P, another cloud layer, but just on top of those cloud hyperscalers, they are already there. I think that is the right thing of SAP.
Okay, thank you. Any recommendations for our listeners that did not join a CodeJam before? Laurens?
Go for it. Do the thing, because it's very nice to meet other people. Otherwise, you will see your colleagues and your customers, of course. Yeah. But if you look at the conversations I already had during eating pasta, it was really great to learn new people and see what they are doing, and also exchanging information and contact information to share different kind of problems we see, how they solved specific issues, because we sometimes have the same issues. And it's way much better to discuss it also with your the other partners to see what's the best solution you can have. Yeah.
How about you, Robert?
Yeah, I think it's great because of course you can do those sessions also at home, but I think that you meet people, that you direct can ask questions and get them back, or they later will answer that to you. That's the added value of those CodeJams.
Yeah, and when you're stuck also.
When you're stuck and
you have an expert walking around.
Yeah, that's also the case. But I found out today.
For me. Yeah, Twan's laughing at me.
Today it was really easy, but so I didn't stuck to any of the exercise. But I think the meeting people, talking about cases and that kind of stuff is the added value of the CodeJams.
So did you talk about use cases with the other participants?
Yes, we try, and for AI at this moment, it's we found it difficult, all the people, but I think that's one of the things. It's new, and one of the things is, of course, that a lot of people are investing in this case, and you will find those use cases now, and then you say, okay, but if SAP is already providing those use cases, why should you then also invest on that one? And I think for big customers, there are always use cases. For small customers, they better can look at what is into the market. And I think also that is the case that people should be aware of. First, look what is already there provided before you go and train your own models and that kind of stuff.
You mean the use cases in ERP, for instance, or in SuccessFactors, or are you referring to the business AI?
Yeah.
Or both?
Now, if you look at SAP, they have a site about what their use cases are, and I believe there are 150 different use cases. Yeah, please look first there before you think, okay,
it's the Discovery Center, right?
Yeah, but if I may add, those are actually use cases we can actually look at, but don't forget that it also opens a lot of possibilities for us as developer, architects, and integration consultants, because we're not working anymore like 50 days on a specific development. We can do things way more faster, way more efficient, and also making sure we have best of both worlds. So what you see in our area is that we're actually using AI to to actually generate code, and it's doing quite a pretty good job, to be honest. I've used ChatGPT in the newest versions, asking for a React application, including a Node.js service and deployment to B2B.
Yeah, not sure if you've
30
tried
30
tool for
minutes.
developers, for instance.
I did.
In build.
I did for especially with the CAP applications. So also there was also CodeJam, I think, over here, and also with Devtoberfest. We used it. They are doing quite a good job.
I think SAP with B2B, but also with the AI GenAI hub, is very important for customers to look at, because it's also the risk which go down. And
Yeah, I was surprised with how easy it is to swap out one model, ChatGPT, for instance, with something else, with Gemini, for instance. I mean, especially if you look at the market now and where we are with AI, I mean, there's still a race going on. And it's still not final yet. So there might be something popping up that is way more powerful or way more useful for certain use cases. So then the ease of swapping out something that you've chosen for something else that is much better for that particular use case, if it's so easy, that's basically that brings value by itself already.
Yeah, I think that's added value, and also companies have to think about that. They in the past you build something and then the service or what is doing or has a running cost, but now you have the possibility to look at, okay, is this one not cheaper 2 years later, and then you can switch. So also in organizations there should be a switch in the mindset of running applications, and that also the services which are behind it, that they have a choice with SAP to go to another one easily by switching just the model behind it. And I think that
is that thing coming up with DeepSeek now. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you're referring to that, but they seem to be much cheaper than something else in the market. So if you can swap out your OpenAI, for instance, for something else, that's very, very beneficial.
Yeah.
Today's topic was about the CodeJam.
AI.
CodeJam and the experiences. So, but thanks also for the discussion is good, and let's see what the future brings us in that, and then also.
But that's based on something that we learned today. Actually, how easy it is to have these LLMs to be pluggable.
Yeah,
under your use cases.
But you're right.
Yeah.
So okay, thanks guys, and let's also ask some other participants, and then of course we need to interview Nora as well for what her experiences are here in the Netherlands on the GenAI students here that we have collected at this CodeJam. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good luck.
It's HANA Café Nederland with your hosts, Jan and Twan.
And we have 2 new people on the table, Twan.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe you can introduce them to us.
Why don't they introduce themselves?
That's a very good remark.
Yes, my name is Olaf Kampers. I have been working as an SAP consultant for 5 years now almost at Innov8ion. And our company has organized this whole CodeJam today, so it was really fun to experience that.
Yes, kudos for that. It's really well organized.
Well
and the food is
organized.
fantastic.
Yeah. And we have...
My name is Tjerk van der Maten, and I'm part of the Emixa company, which is a consultancy company. And I've been working there for almost 3 years now as a data scientist. So working a lot with generative AI, of course, and AI models, which is the hype of the moment, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, really like the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were in the same room as Twan and I were in today. And
Which means?
well, I did notice that these guys, they were sitting at that side of the table and they were racing through the
They
exercises.
were really fast, lightning fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just clicking away, but having good conversations about how this is different from platforms that are...
Jan, we wanted to ask them their experience.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
I wanted
Tjerk, how did you experience today?
Yeah, no, indeed. So actually, we were working with Microsoft Stack for the past 10 years already. Boo, boo, Microsoft, boo. And Databricks actually also.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. And yeah, we were here to just compare it with the SAP Stack and what you can do with generative AI on the SAP platform. And it was quite surprising that you can do a lot what we do in the Microsoft Stack, also in the SAP Stack already. And we saw a lot of overlap with different resources you can use and the different vector databases, etc. So all the technical stuff is on SAP as well. So yeah.
So
really,
you change your mind about the Microsoft
No,
stack?
good to have the.
You're not going to work with SAP.
Good to have like different tools and software, since we are working for Microsoft clients, but also a lot of SAP clients that have only SAP systems. So yeah, why advise them to go to Microsoft and Azure with generative AI if they can also do it on SAP, right? So I really love the possibilities there as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Olaf, how did you experience today's CodeJam?
Yes, so 2 months ago, I also organized an in-house AI CodeJam for just for the people from Innov8ion. But that was about the predictive analysis library, so a whole different product of SAP. I hadn't worked with AI Core yet or with the generative AI hub yet, so that was new for me. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of new things. They used Jupyter notebooks to like go through the exercises and to run the code, which was something that I also did with my CodeJam 2 months ago. And I noticed that it works pretty well, that everyone can just plug and play, basically. They don't need to have any programming experience.
It was easy to follow. It was easy to follow, yeah.
Yep.
They can still work through the exercises anyway, so I think that's a nice solution to host a CodeJam like this, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And any recommendations for people that did not join CodeJam before?
Any recommendations? I think you shouldn't be afraid to ask any questions. Like everyone here is prepared to help even when the host is not around.
Yeah, that's the nice thing of the community. Yeah? So you have to, of course, you have the host she was really knowledgeable, but you can also ask your neighbor. Thanks, Jan, for supporting me. And yeah, but that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think everyone is really helpful, and it's also I think you shouldn't be afraid to dive into new topics, even when they sound a bit scary or when you don't know anything about it. I think it can also be useful to go into this CodeJam, even when you know nothing about AI.
It's a safe environment, right?
Yeah, it's a safe environment, and I think you can learn a lot either way. So,
What did you learn?
Well, I've actually... I was a bit skeptical first about using large language models in this way, combined with SAP, because I wasn't sure what the practical use of it was. But working with like the vector engine, for example, and seeing a couple different functions like filtering or like also data masking, those were things that I hadn't really done before, and it was nice to experience that. So it did open a couple doors in my head, like, okay, I think there might be some use cases for this. So I've become less skeptical, which is a good thing, I think.
That's sure a good thing. Yeah. And how about you? How do you leave today's CodeJam? When you drive home, you think,
Yeah, I think I agree on a lot of topics. So the whole masking stuff and the security and how to use it for like the business perspective is really nice. So we could use AI, generative AI, ChatGPT for a while now, but it's, I think, really difficult for businesses overall, how to use it, how to use GenAI in a safe way, and also getting rid of the hallucinations, for example, using the RAG applications. And I think that's the main topic and the main idea of today, to see how we can use it for different business purposes and how to add value with generative AI in the business, instead of making fun videos and images and all kinds of stuff what you see on the internet nowadays. And then inspiration sessions, if you go to big events, then you see all the videos and the images. And it was today more of how to use it in the business perspective.
Yeah, more practical.
More practical. Yeah. So that's really nice, and I think that's that's awesome, and that's the main takeaway for me today.
And would you bring this to your customers as well?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely for the core SAP customers that are only on SAP, I think it's really valuable to have like a launching customer kind of customer that want to use AI. Don't have the experience in-house, and that we come there as consultants with generative AI experience and tell them what they can do, build a RAG application at first, just low entry with a couple of documents from their company, for example, in there, so that they can ask questions about the documents without the hallucinations of a ChatGPT model. I think there's a lot of value already for customer support, for maintenance, all kinds of use cases. So yeah, definitely.
Good use cases, yeah, absolutely. What about you? Could you think of use cases already at your customers?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like, I noticed that a lot of people at the companies that I've worked for hate like searching through documentation if they need to find out like very specific things.
Guilty.
Yeah. And often the documentation is also on many different places, like on SharePoint, but also like somewhere locally or hosted on a different website. And I think a great use case of this would be that if you load all of the documentation like in a model like this, and they can just use a language model to ask questions about the documentation, that would be a huge benefit for the company, actually.
This is exactly why SAP has imported the help.sap.com site right into Joule, right into generative AI as well, the Joule for consultants. So that's exactly the use case that you're describing now.
Yeah.
Cool.
In advance, in terms, it's just like the advanced Control F functionality, what you can do over like millions of documents at the same time. So that's of course really awesome to do. Yeah,
and immediately get an answer to your question. Not only like this could have to do with it, and like Google-esque, right? This could be something that might be of interest, and this might be something of interest based on keywords. But you have your question, and you just get an answer to the question.
Yeah,
that's I think very, very powerful. Not only for Joule for consultants, but I think if you project it on use case like you described, much faster interaction with your customers in terms of service and customer support and sales and that sort of things.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your feedback. And let's also invite Nora to our cafe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
It's HANA Café Nederland with your host, Jan and Twan.
Yeah. And now in our cafe, we have Nora and we have Wim. And Nora was the facilitator, the developer advocate of today. And Wim was the host at Innov8ion. Wim, kudos, the organization. Very nice organized, good food and good drinks and good atmosphere, right?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, something that started off with do some coding and a pizza is now a 3-course menu.
So true. Yeah. But maybe because we have been here a few times already, Jan. So Wim, the first question that I need to ask you is, was this CodeJam from the library, or did you again challenge the developer advocates to come with a new CodeJam concept today?
A very good question, actually. Indeed, we have 2 times we actually had to ask the question, and they made the CodeJam just for us. Now, we wanted to have this subject and looked in the library, and it was there already. So that's really, kudos to SAP as well.
Yeah.
It was there, and we could just request it. So I'm happy that we had Nora in the house today.
Something with crystal balls and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Nora, welcome to the Netherlands.
Thank you.
You've been to the Netherlands before?
Yes, of course.
Of course. How did you experience today's CodeJam? How
It
are
was
the
awesome.
the Dutch participants, the Dutch students, did they do a good job?
Yeah, definitely. And also, everyone here is so young. Like, why is everyone
Thank you.
in this company
Thank
young?
you.
No, I always like when I come somewhere and people are like more my age, because usually as a woman in IT, you meet like very old white men everywhere.
Thank you.
Not that that's a problem, but it's just nice to sometimes meet people my age, that, I don't know, I can relate to a little bit.
Maybe it's related to the topic.
Maybe. Yeah,
How about other countries?
That's
If you have
good
this
one.
topic in
Yeah.
other countries.
Well, I went to the American user group and people were older. Also more ABAP developers over there. Are you ABAP too?
Yes.
Everyone is ABAP.
Yeah.
I tried it for 5 minutes. Yeah. No.
In the past.
I still, I don't know, like, should I try ABAP? Is that a thing that you have
Sure,
to? Yeah?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, maybe. Now with the ABAP models, maybe they can help me, become an ABAP
Well,
professional.
it's still a thing that powers our crown jewels. They say.
Sure, ABAP is nice and ABAP is not dead.
But I'm curious, actually, which CodeJams did you have SAP built for you? Like, which were the new CodeJams that were developed for this event first?
Flexible programming model,
Okay.
and the one before, think out loud,
With
service
DJ.
integration with
Ah,
CAP.
okay. And why did you choose the Python SDK with generative AI and not the CAP CodeJam for AI?
Because I wanted to see really AI core. And
Okay.
actually,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Nice reason. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we had already some participants giving them feedback, and they all said it was well organized. So the exercises were easy to follow. Also, the concept of the Jupyter notebooks was really handy, and it was really well organized. So kudos for that as well. And I think everyone made it to the end, right?
Yeah. Jupyter notebooks make it very easy for everyone to reach the end, because you can just run them, right? But we were actually discussing earlier with Wim that maybe I should have put in some bugs, so that people have to think about it a little more, because like some people just run through the Jupyter notebook, obviously, and it all works. So maybe next time I'm gonna add some little surprise.
Yeah, I've
bugs.
seen Vitaly do that before.
Yeah,
But
true, he does
the
that.
thing is, if you have those bugs and if you just copy and paste it into ChatGPT and generative AI,
Yeah.
you'll be able to fix them so easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. This is how you made it to the end of the exercise.
This is how I made it to the end. And the
This is how you made it to
exercise.
You finished pretty quickly, Jan. So now I know.
Yeah.
Now I
And
know.
Yeah.
then you started doing email because of this. Yeah. Okay. You have more time to do email.
Yeah, I was caught.
Yeah, I feel like I keep adding exercises and people just still get faster and faster. I think it's just because more people get like more familiar with AI now. So when I started the CodeJam, I had less exercises, but people actually needed the entire 6 hours. Nowadays that people use AI more and more, they are a lot faster and they don't really...
I could notice from the participants as well. I heard very lively conversations of basically comparing what SAP was providing with some services that were provided by competitors.
Yeah.
Okay, but we already jumped into the content right away. But
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, did they work hard enough?
No, but then maybe let's go also a little bit to what was the CodeJam, what was the content of the CodeJam today? Maybe you can enlighten us in that.
Yeah, so basically my topic at SAP is always AI core, AI services, how to train machine learning models, like custom models, but obviously ever since the release of ChatGPT, how can you access large language models via SAP. So in the CodeJam today, we used the Python SDK of AI core and generative AI hub to access large language models through SAP. And the cool thing is that we have basically all the models available that are out there, and you can just try out all the models with one access point, which is the thing that I like most about Generative AI Hub. And we also built a retrieval augmented generation use case. So basically we use the HANA vector store to put context information in, and then we had the large language model retrieve relevant information and answer questions based on that context information.
And even more.
Yeah,
Also
there
the
was more.
orchestration and the chat. Well,
Yes.
it was even. So we had a service called Conversational AI, but now we built our own chatbots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we built a chatbot with memory. We used streaming because when you have like very long responses and you would wait for the LLM to basically generate the entire response and then post it, you lose your users, right? You want to stream the response.
Yeah.
Especially when it's long responses. We tried the orchestration service, as you mentioned. That's really cool because you basically use one code base to query all the different models, and SAP takes care of all the different API specifications in the backend, which I think is awesome. Because usually what you do is like you try a really good model for a use case, and then you kind of try to downgrade to something cheaper and faster, right?
Yeah, that was good practical feedback,
Yeah.
and also to keep in mind. So, like in the architecture of your model, you don't do everything with everything, but make a wise and smart decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bonus was AI agents.
Yeah.
That was fun to see how, because you could also see if you kickstart the AI agent, you could also see how it's thinking between brackets. Of course, that was really nice part of the exercises.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This year is going to be like the year of AI agents, right?
Yeah.
And what we did was just an AI agent with LangChains. So it was just like an open source exercise just to show people how AI agents work. It's not how we will then in the end be doing it at SAP, but I added that exercise because I love working with AI agents and I just wanted to give everyone the chance to try it out. And you can also use the orchestration service and then build an AI agent from scratch with that.
Okay, and you also explained, so yesterday was a big announcement of SAP, also about the Joule agents and so, but this is not a Joule agent, right? So this is more the technical possibility to build an AI agent yourself.
Yeah.
But in essence, it will be something similar, right? But only you start from the Joule of the SAP build. What was it called?
Yeah. So in the second part of 2025, you will be able to build your own AI agents using the Agent Builder Engine Studio in SAP Build.
Yeah.
But what we did today was basically what Joule is using under the hood, right? So whenever Joule is communicating to a large language model, or whenever an embedded AI use case is using a large language model, it goes through Generative AI Hub. And we use Generative AI Hub directly today. So basically you kind of did what will happen in Joule in the background. We did that here today.
Yeah, it was really fun because we are going to connect our agent to the Wikipedia, and then and suddenly it knows a lot of things. That was really interesting. Yeah. And also, like in your opening, you say, and that was a really nice one. So you said AI models always lie, and because they do not know if they are right, yes or no. Yeah. But they are really good in predicting this is the best answer to give, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's like one of the most interesting statements that I heard, this fact that basically large language models always lie, and they always hallucinate, and they just most of the time happen to say the truth, but that's just random, they don't know that they're actually answering correctly. They just randomly get the correct answer because they just learned that's the most probable thing to say. And that's also when large language models say like, I don't know, they don't know that they don't know. They learn to say, I don't know. So it's always just the most probable answer to give.
And how did they then learn to say, I don't know? Is that something that when the human comes in, or is that also something that they found out on the internet?
Oh, no. Well, usually if they would only be trained on the internet, like these completion models, then they would always find an answer, right? So the way that they learn to say, I don't know, or the way that they learn to not give biased information or whatever, or be racist or sexist or whatever, is by actually having humans fine-tune them. So there's a step where we give them, like the first is a supervised fine-tuning step where we give, we don't, but OpenAI and all these large language model providers, they give large language models like question-answer pairs to teach them how good conversation and question answering looks like. And then the second step is where a human is actually talking to the model and then basically training it like a dog. So saying like good response, bad response, good, bad, and then the model learns from
some
that.
Treats as well. So a small treat.
And then you get into the topic of ethics as well, right?
Yeah.
What you mentioned as well, like socially acceptable answers, not racist and that sort of things. But you mentioned something about specifically about this topic as well, where you had a use case yourself that you wanted to bring to the board.
Yeah. So I was a consultant back then, and it was a use case. At SAP, you always receive these emails with like resource requests, I think they're called. Mm-hmm. And you have a short description of the use case and of the technology that should be used in that use case. And I just skimmed through the technology, and it was all the newest technology back then. It was like Leonardo, Hanapal, I think Vora back then, network analysis. It was all the cool stuff, 8 years ago. And I was thinking, I want to do that. That sounds awesome. And then I kept reading through the actual content and through the data that we were supposed to use, and it was like telephone data and stuff, and I was like, that sounds like a surveillance system, I don't know if I'm comfortable building this. So I brought it up to my manager, and he actually then brought it back to like legal and our AI ethics steering committee and stuff, and they actually voted against it, so we didn't do that. Okay. Which I think is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And well, maybe then a little bit more practical, and I think also because AI can really be hard to understand if you're not really into the topic. But I liked your example of reading a book, which you don't do, right?
I don't.
So you somehow found a way to read books, or at least know what's in the book. And
okay. I hope my manager is not listening to this, although I think he might know. But I'm a very lazy person. I usually try to do the least amount of work I have to do to get away with something, and that has worked quite well for me so far. At school, I did the same. So whenever we had to read a book at school, I would never read the book. I would always force my parents to buy these like summary books. Nowadays, we could obviously just ask ChatGPT. Yeah. But the problem is we never know if ChatGPT actually read the book, right? But especially if we have to do it for an exam, someone at some point will notice that we didn't read the book. So what we can do is what we did today. We can use a vector store, for example, HANA vector store, and we can store all the chapters of all the books that we ever have to read for school or whatever. And then we can build a RAG use case, so retrieval augmented generation, on that, where we ask the large language models questions about the book. And instead of having the model answer from its knowledge base, or from whatever it learned on the internet, we tell the model, or we basically tell the retrieval of augmented generation workflow to first look at the database, get the chapter that is relevant to the question, and then kind of like read the chapter first and then answer from whatever it learned in that chapter.
Yeah, then now you have a safe answer.
Yes, now you have a safe answer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that opened my eyes at least. On hey, okay, this is why we do this. Then instead of just using the OpenAI model, this is
because you never know if it knows or not, right? And the problem is, like, if you're an expert in the topic, you can figure it out. You can figure out if it's an hallucination or not, But if it's a topic that's new to you and you want to learn about it, then you have no idea if it's lying or not, because it will always be grammatically correct. So the response will always sound smart, but you don't actually know,
So the concept is actually really important in a business case. Or like with business AI, this is really important because when you talk to customers about AI and they come up with hallucinations. So if you ask your model, hey, what was the last purchase order that I had with this vendor? And then it just comes up with any kind of information which is hallucinated. That doesn't help you in a business case.
Exactly. That's why in every keynote and in every talk that also our CEO and CTO and whoever is talking about it, they always talk about like grounding your AI in business data. And I honestly can't hear that term anymore because like everyone is saying that all the time, but it's true. You have to ground your AI systems in business data or in relevant context information at least.
You have to rely on the information, on the answers. That's really important. Yeah. Okay. So, and what kind of questions did arise today in today's workshop?
Well, a lot of questions were on like actual real use cases from other customers or example use cases, or what can you actually do with large language models. One question that also came up a lot is like when to use what? Like when do I use just like a chatbot with a large language model? When do I need an AI agent? And when do I use the retrieval augmented generation use case? When do I fine tune a model? And those are all like really good questions. And the problem is my answer is usually like it depends on the use case. And I hate that answer, but in AI, that's the answer.
Consultancy answer.
It depends.
And also in AI, it's like oftentimes you don't know before you tried it, because like, especially with generative AI nowadays, it's not like a custom machine learning model where you put in your data and every time you get the same response and you can kind of like rely on the output and you can even understand how the response was generated. Because with generative AI, a lot of these models are like black box models. You have absolutely no idea what's going on inside. We had this example today with like counting the letters, right? And sometimes it counts 2 R's in strawberry and sometimes it counts 3 R's. And then depending how you write the prompt and depending how the model feels that day, I don't know, and mostly it says 2 R's, which is wrong, but you don't really know why they act a certain way. And that's why, especially with generative AI, the answer is always, it depends.
Yeah, it depends. So
it makes it very hard to test generative AI as well. I mean, to find out which model is best for your use case, right? If the answer is always different.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about generative AI is though that nowadays with generative AI, it's a lot cheaper to just try out your AI use case, right? Like back in the day when we only had AI core or we would train machine learning models with predictive analysis library or something, you would need a consultant that actually understands what they're doing. Then you would need data, you would have to prepare your data, you would need a use case, you would train a model, and then you might find out it doesn't work. And nowadays at least it only is like a couple of hours until you find out if it works or not.
Yeah. Okay. So Wim, is the CodeJam is a sort of team meeting for you as well. I guess almost half of the people are your colleagues, right? That joined.
True. So we have a nice concept here. We always have each month we have an innovation day. So we really organize a session, and just a few of us organize a session about a nice topic. And sometimes we have these external events, like so we do a CodeJam or we visit some event, and then we go with the group. And so most of us are here to actually enjoy this new subject as well.
Yeah, but I really like that you are opening up your office and you always have the right topics on the table with the CodeJam.
And the folks of innovation were very recognizable as well.
True. They all had a really
we want you to be recognizable.
Perfect branding.
Can we get one of those actually?
I can ask. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that's the reason why you asked the question.
You want
some swag?
Of course.
We give you a lot of swag today.
I've got the sticker. I've got the bottle opener.
Yeah. Okay. So Wim, what do you think? How AI is going to evolve and change the SAP world?
It's going to be interesting. I've not seen the announcement yet from yesterday, but I have to see what it will be for using the data of an S4 system. How would that mean? You perfectly need to ground that and need to. What will Joule do for us? I'm still curious to see all the scenarios. We gave a session last year as well about what can AI already do in SAP? And then, well, our main answer was actually use SAP AI Core, because that's why actually what you can already leverage and already use against your SAP system.
Yeah.
And it depends. I'm not sure if AI is always the answer.
Yeah.
I have to say.
It's not a silver bullet.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's depending on the use
No,
case. Yeah.
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad actually once, just about like silver bullet, that's a good keyword. My dad once asked me, he's a developer, he develops navigation systems. And his navigation system is especially for like tractors and stuff. So he asked me once, like he has this one crossing in Germany where his system gives the wrong instruction.
Okay.
And he wants to fix that with AI. And I'm like saying, Dad, you know how many crossings there in Germany, and you have one crossing where it says it wrong, like no AI system is going to have that error rate, like
No.
do not do this with AI, just add an if statement,
If you are this crossing, then
this is
then
not an
the-
AI use case,
Yeah, yeah.
so
But
just
he wants to modernize, just like his daughter.
he just wanted to learn it, but it was like, no, that is not the right use case for AI. You do not always have to use AI. As much as I love it, you
Yeah.
do not always have to use it.
But maybe the difficult question for you. So if you have a crystal ball, and let's not look into 10 years, but how is the SAP world going to change using AI agents or AI? What do you see coming?
I think Business Data Cloud is really promising because I see the vision that Joule has and what we want to do with Joule, and I totally believe in that. That's the future. That you can really, wherever you are, ask one AI assistant to help you with your requests and do stuff in S4 and just make your life easier, right? I totally believe in that, and I just hope that we will now actually implement all those ideas and this vision that we have.
And promises, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, they even go to the extent of saying that Joule will be the new UI.
And it is. If you just ask a question to a chatbot or something, then this your UI. Instead of going to the specific transaction code
Actually, like,
VA01.
yeah, to create a sales order. Yeah.
actually, sorry.
No worries. Hey, actually,
No, I just wanted to say that the other day I had to create my goals and success factors for this year. And there actually Joule was the new UI. So I opened the goal section, whatever, and it was just this one field to tell Joule what my goal should be like. And then I typed in, I don't know, like a sentence, and Joule actually came up with like a really good description of this goal. And I have to say, I mean, I already said it, I'm a little bit lazy. So usually my goals used to be like one sentence long, and then my manager, he's awesome, so he was fine with it. But now with Joule, I have like a nice explanation of my goal, from this one sentence that I put in.
now
And
you
that was
manage
good.
what happened.
Yeah, so that's useful. That was at least useful for me.
Yeah.
And Joule was the new UI there.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
Let's see.
Okay. So how many AI CodeJams are on your agenda for the coming weeks?
A lot, actually. I started, last week with the first one in Strasbourg. Then I'm here today, obviously. And then I had to actually hand over a couple of them already to colleagues because I also want to spend some time at home with my kids. But
Really
I will
important.
be, yeah. But I will be in India for almost 2 weeks in the beginning of March, where we will do, I think, 6 CodeJams.
Like a roadshow.
Yeah, roadshow. And then when I come back, I already have one scheduled in the beginning of April in Istanbul, and then that's it for now.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I guess you're going to visit the Netherlands again because we reached out to Thomas about an AI hackathon.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
we got your name, so that will be
Yes.
great.
Yeah, I received that email too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think sometime in May, right?
yeah, exactly.
so
So together with the Dutch user group VNSG,
Yeah.
we plan to have the hackathon back because it has been a very successful event in the past,
nice.
but it's been way too long. And now
Yeah.
together with VNSG, we try to organize that in May.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully until then we have knowledge graph, so we can do graph rack.
Talking about a little bit older people and that sort of thing, grayer hair. It's not going to be an overnight hackathon anymore.
Oh, happy with that. Yeah. No, so exactly. So we opened the SAP office a few years ago, and then people brought their sleeping bag,
Oh wow.
and we
Oh,
went
yeah.
on for 24 hours for
Oh,
coding.
wow.
Yeah, and it was.
I didn't know that's that long.
but this event will not be that like that.
Okay, that's
So
good.
because Jan is a little bit older now.
Very large amounts of Red Bull. I can tell you.
Jan is a little bit older. I'm a little bit
Jägermeister,
older.
right? Jägermeister.
Yeah.
And Jägermeister.
Jägermeister.
Right, so everyone can return home at 10 o'clock or something, and then
Okay, that
return
sounds
to
good.
the day
Yeah,
after.
I come for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
So Wim, how did you like the CodeJam?
I really liked it.
Okay.
I heard the story about the AI agents. I'm kind of feeling bad. I didn't get the time to actually do the exercises, so I really...
Now you regret, don't you?
I do. I really do. I really do. I should have
Well,
taken the time.
unfortunately, the
indeed.
systems are going to close tonight
Mm.
at
No.
9.
No, don't worry. You have a couple of days.
Yeah.
Good.
You can still check
I
it
can
out.
spend the weekend then.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then
definitely.
we have to visit you next week to ask the experience on the code. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Yeah, no, it's really fun. I'm going to do it, yeah.
Okay. Usually this is the time I play the jingle, Jan.
No.
No. Let's just do it.
This is Jan's Stuff Question.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so how will AI and reg and agentic AI change the world?
Eat the world.
Eat the world.
Oh, everyone is looking at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are the expert. You are the advocate.
Can I go hide somewhere? Yeah. I think it's going to make everything better. No. No, I do actually believe that a lot of these tasks that we don't want to do are going to at least change the way we do it. So all these like repetitive things and like summarizing things and I don't know, whatever
The
we don't
boring
want to do.
stuff.
The boring
Yeah,
stuff.
get rid of that.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get rid of. I do sometimes worry a little bit, though, that people kind of lose this like critical thinking, you know, what we talked about earlier already, that people just take everything that a model says as the truth. Because like, I feel like with the internet, for example, we had time to kind of like, we had decades to catch up, right? To learn like how to use the internet and how to Google things, and that not everything that's in a Wikipedia article should be cited in a bachelor thesis. You know, like we had time to catch up and learn.
It's true because it's on the internet.
It's on TikTok.
And I feel like with large language models, it has developed so fast that a lot of people don't know what hallucinations are and those things. And I just think that it requires a lot of like upskilling and education for this thing to work.
But you can already see it if you look at what kids get at school, maybe not the small kids, but at least when you are studying, then they are already stimulated to use like ChatGPT and tools to create their reports, but of course do the fact checking because the teachers will probably a little bit be smarter than the students.
Hopefully.
But now they grow up with those kind of tools.
Yeah.
That's also interesting when they come to the market to get to work.
Yeah, you definitely have to change the way that you work, because it's not about knowing everything. It's rather about like knowing where to look and how to fact check, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the way we work is going to change. And
Fact
we
checking is
just have-
Googling, right?
Yeah, probably. Prompting is the new Googling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so new skills will become more important. I'm definitely looking forward to how everything changes. I don't know, always there's this little worry about like
Weaponizing AI.
Yeah, and you can already do so many evil things with AI, you know, like it really depends on who's using it and how you use it. But I do believe in the good. And I read this book. It's called Scary Smart from Mo Gaudat.
You read a book?
I read a book. Actually, I read one book. And that is basically gives you like 3 versions of the future. Like one is like this like doomsday, AI is going to kill us all. One is this like utopia where no one ever has to work again and the world is just perfect, no climate change anymore, you know, it's just all perfect. And he says he thinks it's somewhere in the middle, like a sweet spot. And I'm just hoping for that.
That will be great. That will be great. Yeah. So to wrap it up, so I really like the CodeJam, the content of the CodeJam of today, but also the event itself is about, of course, it's about learning, but it's also about inspiring. And so what you already explained on the question that I asked, what question did you get, is most about, hey, what kind of use case, when I do I use this, when do I use that, so that people start thinking, what can I do with it in my real life at customer side, which is really nice.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. Thank you very much. And the applause is for you. And for this great CodeJam, and also for Wim for hosting again, for letting us all come in and enjoy this CodeJam
And
today.
the 3-course dinner.
No worries.
That's really awesome.
Upskilling, everywhere.
Don't forget about the 3-course dinner.
And that's a wrap for this episode of HANA Café Nederland. Jan and Twan, loved having you here. Drop us a line if you have any thoughts or want to be on the show. We'll be back soon with more SAP goodness. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.
All right.
Goodbye.
Great weekend.